The two words I am about to share with you are not to be spoken lightly. They are not to be shared carelessly, for in these two words lies the key to unlocking the infinite potential of your imagination, the power to manifest anything you desire. Now, you might be wondering, Nebel, what are these two words? How can mere words have such power? And therein lies the crux of our discussion today. The power of these words lies not in their sound or their spelling, but in the state of consciousness they evoke when properly understood and applied. The two words are simply this: I am. Yes, I am. These two words, when used with understanding and feeling, contain within them the power to reshape your entire reality. For you see, whatever follows, I am in your thoughts and speech, becomes your reality. It is the gateway through which you define yourself in your world. But remember, I cautioned you not to tell anyone. This is not because this knowledge is to be hoarded or kept secret out of selfishness. No, it is because the power of these words is deeply personal. It is a power that must be experienced, not merely heard about. It is a truth that must be lived, not simply intellectualized. Now, let us delve deeper into how to use these two powerful words to manifest anything you want. The key lies in understanding that I am is not just a statement. It is a declaration of being. When you say I am, you are defining your state of consciousness. And your state of consciousness is the lens through which you experience and create your reality. Consider for a moment, how often do you unconsciously use these words in a way that limits you? I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky in love. Each time you make such a statement, you are impressing upon your subconscious mind a state of being that it must then outpicture in your world. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to consciously choose what follows, I am. You have the ability to define your state of being in alignment with your desires. This, my friends, is the key to manifesting anything you want. So how do we begin this process of conscious creation through the power of I am? The first step is to clearly define what you wish to manifest. What is it that you truly desire? Be specific. Don't simply say, I am rich. Instead, declare, I am abundantly provided for in all areas of my life. Don't just say, I am in a relationship. Instead, affirm, I am in a loving, fulfilling partnership that brings out the best in me. Once you have your clear declaration, the next step is to feel the reality of words. This is crucial. You must feel the truth of your I am statement now, not in some distant future. Remember, your subconscious mind doesn't understand time. It only understands the present moment. So if you say I am, but feel that it's not true yet, you're sending mixed signals to your subconscious. Instead, as you declare your I am statement, allow yourself to feel the reality of it. How would you feel if your declaration were already true? Would you feel joyful, confident, free, grateful? Embody these feelings. Live from this state of being. This is not pretending or lying to yourself. This is assuming a new state of consciousness, which is the very essence of creation. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? This is where the power of your imagination comes into play. Your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and your desired state. It is through your imagination that you can step into the feeling of your I am statement, even before it manifests in the physical world. Your imagination is not a flight of fancy or a frivolous faculty. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your future. When you imagine, you are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level. You are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness, shaping it with your attention and your assumption. To use your imagination effectively in conjunction with your I am statements, you must first quiet your conscious mind. The chattering of your daily thoughts, your worries, your doubts, these must be silenced. Enter a state of relaxation, a state akin to sleep, but in which you remain consciously aware. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes more receptive to impression. Once in this relaxed state, declare your I am statement. Feel its truth. Then construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of this statement. If your statement is I am abundantly provided for, you might imagine yourself looking at a bank statement with a large balance or making a significant purchase with ease and joy. If your statement is I am in perfect health, Imagine yourself engaging in activities that demonstrate vibrant health and vitality. The scene itself should be short and simple. It's not about creating an elaborate story, but about capturing a moment that implies your I am statement is now a fact. This scene is your platform, the stage upon which you would enact the feeling of your words fulfilled. Now step into this scene. Don't watch it as a spectator, but experience it from the first-person perspective. Be there in that moment, and as you experience it, let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of your I am statement realized. This is where many falter in their attempts at manifestation. They can see the scene clearly, but they fail to evoke the feeling. Remember, it is the feeling that gives life to your words and your imaginal act. Without feeling, your I am statement and visualization are merely mental exercises. With feeling, they become acts of creation. As you practice this, you may find that the feeling comes more easily with repetition. Each time you declare your I am statement and return to your scene, the feeling becomes more vivid, more real. This is good. You are strengthening the impression upon your subconscious mind. But here's a crucial point. Once you have evoked the feeling, once you have impressed it upon your subconscious, you must carry it with you into your waking life. This is where many stumble. They do their I am exercise. They feel it intensely in a moment, but then they return to their daily life and fall back into old patterns of thought and feeling. To manifest anything you want, to truly harness the power of I am, you must maintain the feeling of your words fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. When you truly grasp this, you will no longer be swayed by appearances. You will know that what you see around you is the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in your consciousness, in your feeling. And as you persist in the feeling of your I am statement fulfilled, your outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. Now, let us address a common challenge in using the power of I am, the apparent contradictions of your senses, as you begin to live in the feeling of your words fulfilled. You may find that your current circumstances seem to contradict your statement. How do you maintain your feeling in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where the art of ignoring comes into play. To ignore is not to deny the existence of something, but to refrain from giving it your attention and energy. When contradictory evidence appears, acknowledge it briefly. Then immediately return your attention to the feeling of your I am statement fulfilled. Remember, what you see in your outer world is the result of past assumptions, past feelings. It is like an echo of what you once believed. Your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new I am statement than to these outdated circumstances. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumption, even when your senses argue against it. But remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your I am statement, shows you what will be. As you persist in maintaining the feeling of your words fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small: a fortunate coincidence, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in someone's behavior towards you. Do not dismiss these as mere chance. They are the first fruits of your new assumption taking root. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of feeling and using the power of I am. When I speak of feeling, I am not referring merely to emotions, though emotions play a part. I am speaking of a deeper sense, a knowing, an unshakable conviction. It is the difference between saying I am successful and knowing in the very core of your being, I am successful. This feeling conviction is not something you can fake or false. It arises naturally when you have successfully impressed your I am statement upon your subconscious mind. This is why the repeated use of your imagination is so crucial. Each time you declare your statement and step into the feeling of it fulfilled, you are deepening this impression. Think of it like wearing a groove in a record. The first time you play the record, the needle may skip and jump. But with repeated plays, the groove deepens and the music plays smoothly. And the music plays smoothly. Similarly, as you repeat your I am statement and imaginal act, the feeling becomes more natural, more habitual. It becomes your dominant state. This is the state from which creation occurs. When you can maintain this feeling conviction throughout your day, when it becomes as natural as breathing, you have mastered the art of conscious creation through the power of I am. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner state. But what of those moments when doubt creeps in? When fear arises? When the old patterns of thought and feeling tries to reassert themselves? These moments are inevitable. Especially in the beginning of your practice, do not be discouraged by them. Instead, see them as opportunities to strengthen your new assumption. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting against the thought only gives it more power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your I am statement and the feeling of it fulfilled. Remind yourself that what you see around you is the past. Your new statement, your new feeling, is creating your future. This brings us to another crucial aspect of using the power of I am, the concept of living in the end. Living in the end means assuming the feeling of your words fulfilled in your day-to-day life. It's not enough to declare your I am statement for a few minutes each day and then return to your old patterns of thought and feeling. You must carry the feeling of your words fulfilled with you throughout your day. This doesn't mean you deny your current circumstances. Rather, you acknowledge them briefly. Then immediately return to the feeling of your I am statement fulfilled. You live from the assumption that what you have declared is already true. For example, if your statement is, I am abundantly wealthy, you would feel the security, freedom, and joy of wealth as you go about your day. When you make purchases, you would feel the ease and confidence of someone who has more than enough. When you interact with others, you would carry yourself with the assurance of a wealthy person. Living in the end requires a shift in your entire way of being. It's not about pretending or play acting. It's about genuinely assuming a new state of consciousness. When you do this effectively, you'll find that your actions naturally align with your assumed state, accelerating the manifestation process. Now, let us address the role of action in using the power of I am. Some people mistakenly believe that manifesting means they can simply declare their I am statement and then sit back and wait for their desires to magically appear. This is not the case. Using the power of I am does not negate action, it informs action. When you successfully impress your statement upon your subconscious mind, when you truly feel it as real, you will be inspired to take actions that align with this state. These actions will feel natural, even inevitable. They will not be driven by fear or lack, but will flow from your assumed state of fulfillment. This is a crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get what you desire, you are actually affirming the assumption of not having it. But when you take action from the assumption of already being what your I am statement declares, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for its expression and expansion. So do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your assumed state. Let your feeling guide you as you move forward. From your assumed state, let your feeling guide your actions rather than hoping your actions will create the feeling. This alignment of inner state and outer action is key to manifesting anything you want. Now, let us explore the concept of detachment in relation to using the power of I am. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. Rather, it means you're not anxiously attached to seeing immediate results or figuring out how your desire will manifest. When you're truly living in the end, you can declare your I am statement and feel its reality without constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. You trust in the process, knowing that as you maintain the feeling of your words fulfilled, they must inevitably express themselves in your outer world. Detachment allows you to live in the present moment while holding your assumed state. It frees you from the anxiety and doubt that can slow down the manifestation process. It allows you to enjoy the journey of manifestation rather than being solely focused on the destination. Practice detachment by reminding yourself that your I am statement imbued with feeling is the reality. What you see in the outer world is just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, the shadow must change to match the new reality you're imagining and feeling. Let us now address the importance of gratitude in using the power of I am. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion, it is a powerful creative force. When you feel genuinely grateful, you are affirming that you already have what you desire. This aligns perfectly with the principle of living in the end. Begin to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for your I am statement. Even before you see it manifested in your physical reality, be thankful for it. As if it were already true, Feel appreciation for the abundance that surrounds you in all forms. It's the air you breathe, the sun that shines, the food you eat. As you practice gratitude, you are assuming the state of someone who has their I am statement fulfilled. This assumption, consistently held, must manifest in your outer world as the realization of your words. Now, let us explore the power of revision and using I am. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing that the past only exists in your mind, and therefore it can be changed in your mind. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review the events of your day. If there were any events that were not in alignment with your I am statement, revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that aligns with your words. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. By doing this, you are not denying what physically happened. You are changing the impact of that event on your subconscious mind. You are pressing upon your subconscious of reality that aligns with your I am statement rather than one that contradicts it. As you make this practice of revision a habit, you will find that your reactions to current events begin to change. You'll become less reactive, more peaceful, more aligned with your desired states of being. This alignment accelerates the manifestation process. Let us now discuss the importance of persistence in using the power of I am. While we speak of manifesting anything you want, it's important to understand that the speed of manifestation can vary. Some desires may manifest almost instantly, while others may take more time to fully materialize in your physical reality. The key is to persist in your assumption, regardless of how long it seems to be taking. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If you waver in your assumption, if you lose faith in the process, you send mixed signals to your subconscious mind, which can slow down the manifestation process. Persistence doesn't mean forcing or struggling. It means consistently returning to your I am statement and the feeling of it fulfilled. Even when the outer world seems to contradict it, it means choosing again and again to live from the end, to embody the state of your words realized. This persistence requires faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that as you persist in your new assumption, your world must reshape itself to match it. Now, let us address the role of self-concept in using the power of I am. Your self-concept, the beliefs you hold about who you are, is perhaps the most powerful factor in determining what you can manifest in your life. Many people struggle to manifest their desires because their self-concept contradicts what they're trying to achieve. They may declare, I am wealthy, but deep down, they don't believe they're the kind of person who can be wealthy. They may state, I am love, but fundamentally believe they're unworthy of love. To use the power of I am effectively, you must be willing to revise your self-concept. This involves not just declaring your I am statement, but truly feeling and being it as your core identity. It's not about creating a false image of yourself, but about recognizing and embracing your true limitless nature. Remember, at your core, you are pure consciousness. You are not defined by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are the awareness in which all these things appear. And this awareness, your true self, is infinite in its potential. As you use your I am statements to assume your desired states, you are essentially recreating yourself. You are stepping into a new concept of self, a new understanding of who you are and what's possible for you. This revision of self-concept is crucial for using the power of I am effectively. As you align your self-concept with your desires, you remove the inner contradictions that can slow down the manifestation process. Now, let us explore the role of emotion in using the power of I am. Emotion is the fuel that powers your statements. It's not enough to merely say the words. You must feel them. When you combine your I am declaration with genuine emotion, you create a powerful impression on your subconscious mind. This is because your subconscious responds more strongly to feeling than to intellectual thought. The emotions you want to cultivate are those you would feel if your I am statement were already realized. If your statement is I am wealthy, feel the security, the freedom, the void that comes with financial abundance. If it's I am loved, feel the love, the connection, the companionship. These emotions should be so real, so intense, that when you open your eyes and return to your present circumstances, you carry with you a sense of fulfillment as if your words have already been realized. This emotional component is what distinguishes effective use of I am from mere positive affirmations or wishful thinking. When you can genuinely feel your words as an accomplished fact, you are impressing them upon your subconscious mind as a reality. Your subconscious then works tirelessly to bring this feeling into physical manifestation. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, remember this: the power to manifest anything you want lies within you. It resides in your ability to use these two simple words, I am, with understanding and feeling. The secret to manifestation is not determined by external factors, but by the intensity of your belief and the consistency of your practice. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Use your I am statements consciously and deliberately to create the reality you desire. Feel the truth of your words with every fiber of your being. Persist in this feeling, even when your senses deny it. For as you do, you are reshaping your entire world, manifesting your desires with the speed and precision that might seem miraculous to others. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are limited only by your ability to imagine and to feel the reality of your I am statements. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your creative power. Thank you. And may your journey of conscious creation through the power of I am be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of manifesting your deepest desires. Go now and create the life you've always dreamed of, for you are the master of your destiny, the author of your reality. Just begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your feelings are not a reaction to the world around you, but rather they are the cause of the world you experience. This may sound strange to those of you who have been taught that your emotions are simply responses to external events, but I tell you, it is the other way around. Your emotions, your inner states, are the very substance from which your external reality is formed. Think of it this way. The world you see around you is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state of being. Just as a projector casts images onto a screen, your consciousness projects your inner states onto the screen of space and time. And just as changing the film on a projector changes the images on the screen, changing your inner state changes the world you experience. Now, you might be thinking, but Wayne, surely you can't deny the reality of the challenges I am facing. How can I feel good when I've lost my job, or when I'm facing a serious illness, or when my relationships are in turmoil? And to this I ask you to deny the existence of your current circumstances. I ask you to deny their power over your inner state. You see, your circumstances, no matter how dire they may seem, have no inherent power to make you feel anything. Your feelings are not determined by what happens to you, but by your interpretation of what happens. And this interpretation, this meaning you give to events, is entirely within your control. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine two people who have just lost their jobs. One falls into despair, feeling hopeless and defeated. The other feels excited, seeing this as an opportunity for a new beginning, a chance to pursue a long-held dream. Same external event, vastly different emotional responses. What makes the difference? It's not the event itself, but the meaning each person assigns to it. Now you might be thinking, but surely some events are inherently negative. Surely some circumstances are objectively bad. And to this I say, there is no objective reality outside of your consciousness. What you call reality is simply a reflection of your assumptions, your beliefs, your habitual thought patterns. This is not to say that challenging circumstances don't exist. They do. But their power to affect your emotional state is entirely dependent on your choice to give them that power. You always have the ability to choose your response, to choose how you will feel, regardless of external conditions. But why is this so important? Why should you strive to feel good when everything seems to be going wrong? The answer lies in the creative power of your emotions. Your feelings are not just responses to your world, they are the very substance from which your world is created. When you consistently feel good, when you maintain a positive emotional state, regardless of external circumstances, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You're tuning your consciousness to the frequency of your desires rather than the frequency of your current circumstances. Think of it like this. Emotions are like a radio tuner. When you feel negative emotions, fear, anxiety, despair, you're tuning into the frequency of lack, of limitation, of things going wrong. But when you choose to feel good, to feel positive emotions, regardless of circumstances, you're tuning into the frequency of abundance, of possibility, of things going right. And here's the game. The universe can only give you more of what you're tuned into. If you're tuned into the frequency of lack and limitation, that's what you'll continue to experience. But if you tune into the frequency of abundance and possibility, that's what will begin to manifest in your life. This is why it's so crucial to remember to feel good, especially when everything else seems to be going wrong. Because in those moments when it's most challenging to feel good, that's when it's most important. That's when you have the greatest opportunity to shift your reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Wayne, isn't this just positive thinking? Isn't this just putting on a happy face and pretending everything is fine when it's not? And to this I say, this is not about pretending or faking positive emotions. This is about understanding the true nature of reality and your role as a creator. You see, when you truly understand that your inner state is the cause, not the effect of your external reality, feeling good becomes the most logical, the most practical thing you can do. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing that the solution to any problem, the path to any desire. Let me give you another example to illustrate this point. Imagine you're in a dark room fumbling around trying to find the light switch. The longer you fumble in the dark, the more frustrated you become. The more things you bump into, the more chaos you create. But the moment you find the switch and turn on the light, everything changes. Suddenly, you can see clearly. You can navigate easily. You can put everything in order. Your emotional state is like that light switch. When you're in a negative emotional state, you're fumbling in the dark. You can't see solutions. You can't find opportunities. You create more chaos and confusion. But when you shift to a positive emotional state, when you remember to feel good, it's like turning on the light. Suddenly, you can see clearly. Solutions become apparent. Opportunities reveal themselves. Order replaces chaos. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but Wayne, how can I possibly feel good when I'm in the midst of real problems, real challenges? And this is a valid question. It's easy to feel good when everything is going well. The real test, the real opportunity for growth and transformation comes when you can maintain a positive emotional state in the face of adversity. So how do you do this? How do you remember to feel good when everything else seems to be going wrong? The key lies in your imagination. Your imagination is the most powerful tool you possess. It is, in fact, the very workshop in which you create your reality. When circumstances seem dire, when problems seem insurmountable, that is the moment to turn to your imagination. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine a reality where your problems are solved, where your desires are fulfilled. Feel the relief, the joy, the excitement of that reality. Let those feelings fill your entire being. Now, some of you might be thinking, but isn't this just fantasy? Isn't this just escapism? And to this, I say, your imagination is not a place to escape reality. Your imagination is the very place where reality is created. You see, what you imagine with feeling, what you experience vividly in your mind's eye, is not separate from reality. It is reality in its nascent state. It is reality, not yet manifested in the world of physical senses, but no less real for that. In fact, it is more real because it is the cause of which your physical reality is merely this. When you imagine a better reality, when you feel the emotions associated with that reality, you are not engaging in idle fantasy. You are engaging in the most powerful, the most practical act of creation. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality you wish to experience, and your subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced, begins immediately to bring about the conditions and circumstances that match your imagined reality. This is why it's so crucial to remember to feel good, especially when external circumstances seem to be at their worst. Because in those moments when you choose to feel good despite appearances, you are exercising your true power as a creator. You are asserting your dominion over your reality. Now let's address another common concern. Some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, if I feel good when things are going wrong, aren't I just deluding myself? Aren't I ignoring reality? And to this I sigh. What is reality? Is it only what your physical senses show you at this moment? Or is it the infinite field of possibilities that exists in your imagination? You see, what you call reality is simply the outpicturing of past thoughts and feelings. It's the harvest of seeds you've planted in the past. But at any moment, you have the power to plant new seeds, to imagine and feel a new reality into existence. This doesn't mean you ignore your current circumstances or act irresponsibly. It means you acknowledge your present situation while simultaneously holding in your mind and heart the reality you wish to experience. You live in two worlds at once, the world of physical senses and the world of imagination, knowing that the latter will eventually replace the former. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you are currently struggling financially. You wouldn't ignore your bills or pretend your debts don't exist. You would continue to manage your current finances responsibly, but at the same time, you would live from the state of financial abundance in your imagination. You would feel the relief of having all your debts paid. You would experience the joy of having more than enough money for all your needs and desires. You would feel the security of an abundant bank account, and you would carry these feelings with you throughout your day, even as you're dealing with your current financial situation. This is what it means to remember to feel good when everything else is going wrong. It's about holding two realities in your mind simultaneously while emotionally residing in the reality you desire to experience. Now, some of you might be wondering, but how long would it take for my imagined reality to manifest? How long do I need to maintain these good feelings before I see results? And to this I say, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you assume it to be so. The time it takes to appear in your physical reality depends on many factors, including the naturalness of the desire, your ability to maintain your assumption, and the current conditions of your mind. But here's the key. Don't concern yourself with the when or the how. Your job is simply to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and to live from that state. The universe will take care of the details. Trust the process. Know that what you have assumed must come to pass by universal law. Remember, creation is finished. All possible realities already exist. When you assume a new state, when you choose to feel good despite challenging circumstances, you're not creating something new. You're simply selecting a different reality from the infinite array of possibilities that already exist. You're tuning your consciousness to a different frequency, so to speak, and thus experiencing a different version of reality. This understanding should free you from anxiety and impatience. There's no need to worry about whether your desire will manifest. It must, for it already exists. Your only task is to align your consciousness with it through your assumption, through your choice to feel good regardless of external circumstances. Now let's talk about an aspect of this principle that many people overlook. When you truly understand that you always get what you want, that the universe is constantly responding to your assumptions and delivering experiences that match them, how can you not feel profound gratitude? Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It's a powerful creative force. When you feel grateful, you're affirming that you already have what you desire. You're living from the state of fulfillment, of abundance, of your wish realized. And in doing so, you're aligning yourself even more powerfully with that reality. So cultivate an attitude of gratitude, especially when circumstances seem challenging. Be thankful not just for what you already have in your physical reality, but for what you've assumed in your imagination. Feel the gratitude of already being, doing, or having what you desire. This gratitude will transform your entire experience of life. You'll find yourself appreciating the present moment more fully. Even as you're assuming a different state, you'll see the beauty and perfection in all things, recognizing them as expressions of the same divine consciousness that you are. Now, I want to address something that often comes up as people begin to apply these principles. They start to wonder, if feeling good is so important, what if I can't maintain positive emotions all the time? What if I have moments of doubt, fear, or negativity? My friends, it's important to understand that the goal is not to never experience negative emotions. Negative emotions are a natural part of the human experience. The goal is to not dwell in these negative states, to not let them define your overall emotional climate. Think of it like the weather. Just as there will always be some cloudy or rainy days, there will always be some moments of doubt or fear. But just as a few cloudy days don't define the overall climate, a few moments of negativity don't define your overall emotional state. The key is to not resist these negative emotions when they arise, but to acknowledge them, accept them, and then choose to shift back to a positive state. Remember, you always have the power to choose your emotional state, regardless of circumstances. One powerful way to shift your emotional state is through the use of affirmations, but not just any affirmations, affirmations that you feel to be true. You see, the power of an affirmation lies not in the words themselves, but in the feeling behind the words. For example, if you're facing financial difficulties, simply repeating, "I am wealthy," might feel false and create inner conflict. Instead, you might affirm, "I am open to financial abundance," or "money flows to me easily and frequently." It's affirmations that feel true to you that create a sense of possibility and excitement when you say. Another powerful technique for maintaining a positive emotional state is visualization. Spend time each day visualizing your desired reality in vivid detail. See it, hear it, feel it, taste it, smell it. Make it as real as possible in your imagination. As you do this, pay attention to the feelings that arise. Let yourself fully experience the joy, the excitement, the relief of having your desire fulfilled. These feelings are the bridge between your current reality and your desired reality. Now, some of you might be thinking, "But Wayne, what about action? Don't we need to do something to bring about the changes we desire?" And to this I say, of course, action is important, but it's not the kind of action most people think of. You see, most people believe they need to take action to make things happen. They believe they need to struggle, to strive, to force things into being. But this kind of action often comes from a place of lack of fear, of trying to fix something that's perceived as wrong. The kind of action I'm talking about is inspired action. It's action that flows naturally from your assumed state. When you're consistently feeling good, when you're living from the state of your wish, fulfilled, you'll find yourself naturally taking actions that align with that state. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, effortless, even joyful. You'll find opportunities presenting themselves to you. You'll have intuitive flashes of insight. You'll be in the right place at the right time. This is because when you're in alignment with your desire, when you're feeling good despite challenging circumstances, you're in harmony with the creative power of the universe. You're allowing that power to work through you, guiding your actions and orchestrating events in ways that you could never plan or force. Now let's address another common concern. Some of you might be thinking, "But Wayne, what about other people? What if my ability to feel good is dependent on how others treat me or what they do?" And to this I say, no one and nothing outside of you has the power to determine your emotional state. You see, other people, like everything else in your reality, are simply playing the parts that you have assigned to them through your assumptions. If you assume that your happiness depends on others, then that will be your experience. But if you assume that your emotional state is entirely within your control, then that will be your reality. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to others or that you don't care about your relationships. It means you take responsibility for your own emotional state, regardless of how others behave. It means you choose to feel good to maintain a positive emotional state, regardless of what others say or do. And here's the beautiful thing. When you do this, when you maintain your positive state, regardless of others' behavior, you'll find that others begin to reflect that state back to you. Remember, the outer world is always a reflection of your inner state as you change. Your experience of others will change too. Now let's talk about persistence. Remembering to feel good when everything seems to be going wrong is not always easy. It requires persistence, practice, and patience. There will be times when you slip back into old patterns of thought and emotion. There will be times when circumstances seem so challenging that it feels impossible to maintain a positive state. It's not about being perfect. It's about consistently returning to your desired state no matter how many times you slip. It's about making the choice again and again to feel good despite appearances. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. At first it feels awkward. You make mistakes. It doesn't sound good. But with persistent practice, it becomes more natural. The movements become fluid. The music begins to flow. And one day you realize you're playing beautifully without even thinking about it. The same is true with maintaining a positive emotional state. At first, it might feel forced or unnatural. You might find yourself slipping back into negative states frequently. But with persistent practice, it becomes easier. It becomes more natural. And eventually, it becomes your default state. Now, I want to address something that often comes up as people begin to apply these principles. They start to worry about being selfish or uncaring if they focus on feeling good when others around them are struggling. But I assure you, maintaining your positive state is the most loving, the most compassionate thing you can do. You see, when you choose to feel good regardless of circumstances, you become a beacon of light in a world that often seems dark. You become a living example of the power of consciousness to transform reality. You inspire others, not through preaching or lecturing, but through your very being. Moreover, when you maintain a positive state, you're in a much better position to help others. Think about it. Can a drowning person save another drowning person? You need to be standing on solid ground, or better yet, in a boat to be able to throw a lifeline to someone who's struggling. In the same way, when you're mired in negative emotions, when you're overwhelmed by challenging circumstances, you're in no position to truly help others. But when you're grounded in a positive state, when you're living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you have the stability, the clarity, and the resources to make a real difference in others' lives. Remember, too, that your state of consciousness affects not just your own experience, but the collective consciousness of humanity. Every time you choose to feel good despite challenging circumstances, you're elevating the entire human family. You're adding your light to the sum of light, making it easier for others to find their way out of darkness. As we come to the close of our discussion, I want to leave you with this final thought. Remembering to feel good when everything else is going wrong is not just a technique for manifesting your desires. It's a way of life. It's a recognition of your true nature as a divine being, as a creator of your reality. When you consistently choose to feel good, regardless of external circumstances, you're declaring your independence from the world of effects. You're asserting your true power as a cause. You're aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe itself. This is the great secret, the great truth that all the mystics and sages throughout history have pointed to. Your emotional state, your inner world, is the source of your entire life experience. As you master your inner world, as you learn to consistently feel good despite appearances, you become the master of your destiny. My dear friends, I urge you, remember to feel good, especially when everything else seems to be going wrong. For in those moments when it's most challenging to maintain a positive state, that's when it's most crucial. That's when you have the greatest opportunity to transform your life and to contribute to transformation in our world. Go forth now, armed with this knowledge, and put it into practice. Choose to feel good no matter what. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled, and watch as the world around you transforms to match your inner state, for this is the true art of living, the true science of creation. This is your birthright as a divine being. Claim it, live it,